cut through the noise. Most men walk through life thinking women are a mystery, an unsolvable puzzle, something you either get lucky with or spend your whole life chasing. They believe some guys are just born with it, while the rest are left to watch from the sidelines. That's a myth. The truth is, every woman, no matter how unique she seems, responds to the same core patterns. Patterns of energy, patterns of presence, patterns of masculine control. If you learn to see those patterns, if you understand the signals, you can get what you want from any woman, not by force, not by manipulation, but by moving in sync with the way her mind and emotions are already wired. The reason most men fail is simple. They either chase too hard, suffocating her with neediness, or they pull away so far she feels nothing at all. Both extremes destroy attraction. What actually works is a balance. Strength with calm, confidence without arrogance, interest without desperation. That's the formula that unlocks her mind. A woman will never hand you respect, love, or loyalty just because you demand it. She gives it when she feels your value. And she feels your value when you carry yourself like a man who already has options, already has control, already knows his worth. Here's the secret. Women test men constantly. They test to see if you'll break under pressure, if you'll beg when they pull back, if you'll lose your center when they get distant. Most men fail those tests and wonder why things fall apart. But if you learn to read the signals, if you keep your power no matter how she acts, suddenly the game changes. She starts to move toward you instead of away. She starts to give instead of withhold. You stop being the man who hopes, and you become the man who receives. So listen closely. What I'm about to break down isn't theory, it's psychology. It's behavior, it's real life. Once you understand these signs, once you see how simple it actually is, you'll stop wasting time, stop being confused, and stop letting opportunities slip away. You'll know exactly how to get what you want every time, without games, without lies, and without losing yourself in the process. That is true power. That is how a man wins. The first law is this: control yourself before you try to control her. The foundation of getting what you want from any woman is not about her at all. It's about you. Most men lose before they even start because they walk in with the wrong mindset. They want her attention, her validation, her affection. And they think if they just push harder, say sweeter words, or give more energy, she'll finally give them what they're asking for. But here's the truth. If you can't control yourself, if you can't master your own emotions, no woman will ever give you what you truly want. A woman can sense desperation. She can feel when you're chasing too hard, when you're begging for her response, when you're secretly hoping she'll fill the holes in your life. And once she senses that weakness, she pulls back. Why? Because women are wired to respect strength. They want a man who leads, not one who follows her moods. If you get angry too fast, if you get needy when she doesn't reply, if you fall apart when she gives you silence, you lose all power. She will see you as just another guy who can't handle pressure. But when you control yourself, your reactions, your words, your energy, she feels something different. She feels your calmness. She feels your stability. She sees that you're not shaken by small things. That calm control makes her respect you. And respect is the doorway to getting what you want. You don't need to argue. You don't need to demand. You simply need to stay centered. When you don't chase, she moves closer. When you don't react, she wonders why. That curiosity makes her give more. Every time you've lost in relationships, it was usually because you let emotions run wild. Maybe you overextended. Maybe you argued too much. Maybe you begged for answers. All of it comes from lack of control. But the men who win are the ones who breathe, who pause, who keep their cool no matter what. They know women test emotions so they don't fall into the trap. And because of that, women hand them respect, love, and loyalty without them even asking. So before you try to get anything from her, master yourself. The man who controls himself controls the relationship. And once you have that power, getting what you want becomes natural. Second, make her feel your value. Don't just tell her. One of the biggest mistakes men make is thinking words are enough. They try to convince a woman with promises, compliments, or endless talking. But here's the truth. Women don't just listen to what you say. They feel who you are. If your actions, your energy, and your presence don't show value, then no matter how sweet your words sound, she won't take you seriously. Getting what you want from a woman is never about talking her into it. It's about making her feel you are worth it. Ask yourself, do you walk with confidence? Do you move like a man who knows his direction? Do you carry yourself as someone who can handle challenges without losing balance? That's what women notice. They may smile at your compliments, but they respond to your presence. A man who lives with purpose, who works on himself, who doesn't need her approval, he automatically becomes magnetic. And when she feels that value, she gives more. Because deep down, every woman wants to connect herself to a man she respects. Telling her, I'm different, or I'm valuable, means nothing if your life doesn't show it. If you say you're confident, but you get jealous over small things, she sees the crack. If you say you're strong, but you break down every time she pulls back, she knows it's fake. Real value cannot be faked. It's built daily through discipline, through growth, through self-respect, and once it's real, you don't need to brag about it. She will see it, feel it, and respond to it. Here's the key. Women want to experience value, not hear about it. When you live with standards, when you have goals, when you treat yourself with respect, she naturally treats you with respect too. When you show her that your time is valuable, she gives you her time. When you show her that your attention is rare, she craves it more. When you show her you don't need her to complete you, she wants to give you more of herself. So don't waste time trying to prove yourself with words. Stop convincing. Start showing. The man who makes her feel his value never has to beg for anything. She will give it freely because deep inside she knows she doesn't want to lose a man like that. Third, learn to listen more than you speak. Most men think that to win a woman or to get what they want, they have to keep talking, impressing her with stories, jokes, or promises. But here's the truth. Talking too much often weakens your position. The real power lies in listening. Why? Because when you listen, you understand. And when you understand, you know exactly how to move, exactly what she needs, and exactly how to get what you want without pushing for it. Women reveal everything through their words, their tone, and their body language. If you pay close attention, you'll notice the little clues. She may not say, I want a man who is confident, but the way she reacts when you're calm under pressure tells you she values it. She may not say, I want a man who doesn't beg for attention, but the way she tests you by pulling away tells you she's checking if you'll chase. Most men miss these signs because they're too focused on what they want to say instead of observing what she's already telling them. Listening is not just about hearing words, it's about studying behavior. Does she lean in when you speak? Does she light up when you hold eye contact? Does she go quiet when you act needy? All of these are signals, and the man who listens, who studies, who understands, he adjusts. He doesn't waste energy on the wrong moves. He positions himself exactly where she wants him without losing his own power. That makes her give more without even realizing it. Here's the trick. When you listen more, you also talk less. And that creates mystery. Mystery creates curiosity, and curiosity makes her want to give more to figure you out. Silence, when used with confidence, is more powerful than 1,000 words. It makes her chase your attention. It makes her wonder what's on your mind. And when she wonders, she invests. So stop trying to impress her with endless talking. Stop explaining yourself. Stop oversharing. Stop filling every silence. Instead, observe, listen, and use what you see. A woman will always reveal what she values and what she rejects. The man who listens learns the code, and once you know the code, getting what you want becomes effortless. Fourth, give less, so she gives more. One of the hardest lessons men need to learn is this. The more you overgive without balance, the less she values it. Most men think constant giving, time, energy, attention will make a woman appreciate them. In reality, it often has the opposite effect. When something is always available, it loses value. When you hand everything to her without making her earn it, she takes it for granted. And once that happens, you stop getting what you want. A woman respects what she works for. She values what she feels she could lose. That's why the men who get the most from women are not the ones who give endlessly, but the ones who give with control. They know when to pull back, when to say no, when to keep their energy focused on themselves. That restraint makes a woman lean in. It makes her invest, It makes her prove her worth instead of expecting you to prove yours. Think about it. If you're always the one calling, always the one planning, always the one adjusting, she doesn't have to do anything. She becomes passive, and you become her entertainer. But when you stop giving everything, when you leave space, she fills it. She texts first, she plans, she tries harder. Why? Because she feels the gap. And humans are wired to chase what they don't fully have. This doesn't mean being cold or cruel. It means being measured. Give her enough to feel valued, but not so much that she feels no effort is required on her side. For example, don't reply instantly every time she messages. Don't cancel your own plans just to see her. Don't shower her with compliments daily. Let her wonder what you're thinking. Sometimes that small distance creates pull. That little bit of scarcity makes her give more. The truth is, women respect men who value their own time and energy. When you give less in the right way, she naturally gives more. More attention, more loyalty, more effort because she wants to keep you. She doesn't want to lose the man who doesn't throw himself at her feet. That's the balance. Controlled giving. When you master it, you'll find women chasing to match your effort instead of you begging to match theirs. Fifth, keep your standards high and unshakable. If you want to get what you want from a woman, you must understand one powerful truth. Women test men to see where their standards really are. They will push your limits, break small rules, and see how far you bend. Most men fold. They lower their standards just to keep her happy. They allow disrespect because they fear losing her. But here's the reality. When you drop your standards, you don't gain her love. You lose her respect. And once respect is gone, you'll never truly get what you want. High standards are not about being arrogant or controlling. They are about knowing your worth and refusing to accept less. If you expect honesty, don't tolerate lies. If you expect effort, don't reward laziness. If you expect respect, don't allow disrespect disguised as jokes or mood swings. Women may roll their eyes at your boundaries. They may even test harder at first, but deep down they admire the man who doesn't bend. That's the man they can't play with. The man they know they must give their best to because he won't accept less. When you live by your standards, you send a silent but powerful message. I don't need you to complete me. I choose you because you add value to my life. That difference changes everything. It takes you out of the weak position of chasing and begging and puts you in the strong position of choosing and leading. And women respect men who choose instead of settle. Think about it. When you have standards in every other part of your life, work, health, friends, people respect you. The same is true in relationships. A man who says, "This is how I live and this is what I accept," and actually sticks to it, gains influence naturally. He doesn't need to argue. He doesn't need to fight for attention. His standards speak for him. The mistake most men make is thinking lowering standards keeps a woman close. It doesn't. It only teaches her she can get away with anything. But when you keep them firm, she either rises to meet them or she leaves. And if she leaves, good, because the wrong woman walked out and the right one will walk in. High standards filter out the weak and attract the strong. So remember this, the man who gets what he wants is not the one who bends, but the one who refuses to break. Sixth, be unpredictable, not routine. If you want to get what you want from a woman, you must never let yourself become too predictable. Why? Because predictability kills excitement. When a woman knows exactly what you'll do, exactly what you'll say, and exactly how you'll react, she loses curiosity. And when curiosity dies, so does her effort. The truth is, women are emotional creatures who crave stimulation, challenge, and surprise. If you become routine, she stops chasing. But if you keep her guessing in the right way, she invests more. Most men fall into the trap of routine. They text the same way every day. They plan the same kind of dates. They respond the same way to her moods. At first, she might like the consistency, but over time, it turns into boredom. And once boredom sets in, she begins to pull away because she doesn't feel anything new. On the other hand, the man who mixes things up keeps her attention locked. He's consistent in his value, but unpredictable in his delivery. She never fully knows what's coming next, and that mystery makes her excited to give more. Being unpredictable doesn't mean playing games or being toxic. It means being dynamic. Sometimes you text her first, Sometimes you let her text you. Sometimes you give her attention. Sometimes you let her miss it. Sometimes you plan something big. Sometimes you keep it simple. That balance keeps her emotionally engaged. She feels like she has to put in effort to earn your energy because she doesn't know when it's guaranteed. That effort is what makes her give you what you want: attention, loyalty, affection, without you asking. Here's the secret. Women talk about wanting a stable man, but they stay hooked on the man who gives stability and surprise. Stability without surprise feels safe but boring. Surprise without stability feels exciting but chaotic. But when you combine both, she feels secure and stimulated at the same time. That's the sweet spot where she invests deeply because she doesn't want to lose the man who can give her both peace and thrill. So never let yourself become routine. Keep your value consistent, but your moves unpredictable. That way, she stays curious, stays engaged, and stays giving. Because the moment she thinks she has you completely figured out, you've already lost half the battle. 7th, walk away if respect is missing. The final and most important step in getting what you want from a woman is understanding this. You only win when respect is present. Without respect, nothing works. She may smile, she may play along, she may even give you temporary attention. But if she doesn't respect you deep down, you'll never get consistency, loyalty, or real effort. And the fastest way to gain respect is knowing when to walk away. Most men never do this. They stay even when she disrespects them. They argue, they beg, they try to fix things while she keeps breaking their boundaries. They think staying longer will make her change. It doesn't. All it does is teach her that no matter what she does, you'll stick around. That kills attraction instantly, because once she knows you won't walk away, she no longer feels the need to give you what you want. She knows she already has control. But the man who walks away the moment respect is gone, that man is dangerous in her eyes. He doesn't threaten, he doesn't beg, he doesn't create drama. He simply leaves. And when he leaves, he creates an emotion most women can't resist: regret. Suddenly, she realizes she lost something valuable. She sees that she didn't have power over him. She understands that he valued himself more than her games, and that shock often makes her chase back, offering exactly what he wanted in the first place. Walking away is not weakness. It's the highest form of strength. It shows her you don't need her approval. You don't fear being alone, and you will not settle for less than respect. That standard alone puts you above 90% of men because most are too scared to leave. But when you set that boundary, you don't just get what you want from women. You attract the right women, the ones who are willing to give it without hesitation. Here's the truth. Love without respect is useless. Attention without respect is temporary. Effort without respect is fake. If you want real power with women, always be ready to walk away the second respect disappears. That single move flips the balance forever. Because the man who can walk away is the man who never has to chase again. In the end, power comes from who you are, not what you chase. Getting what you want from any woman is not about tricks, pickup lines, or fake confidence. It's about becoming the kind of man who naturally inspires respect, desire, and loyalty. Every point we've covered leads back to one truth. The power is in you, not in her. When you control yourself, when you live by your standards, when you show your value instead of begging for it, women respond. They don't just respond, they give more than you even asked for, because deep down that's what they crave. A man who knows who he is and refuses to bend. Women are used to men chasing, begging, proving, and lowering themselves just to get attention. That's normal for them. But when a man rises above that, when he listens more than he speaks, when he gives with control, when he's unpredictable yet stable, when he's willing to walk away without fear, he stands out. He becomes rare. And what is rare is always valuable. That's why she starts to give. That's why she invests. That's why she doesn't want to lose you. The secret is not about controlling women. It's about controlling yourself. It's about becoming so steady, so confident, and so clear about what you want that she feels it's her privilege to give it to you. You don't force her. You don't trick her. You don't play endless games. You simply show up as a man who doesn't need her, but who chooses her. And that choice, combined with your strength, makes her give you everything you desire freely. Remember this. The moment you start chasing, you lose leverage. The The moment you start lowering your standards, you lose respect. The moment you fear walking away, you lose power. But when you flip it, when you stand firm, when you show your value, when you know you can walk away at any time, you gain all three: leverage, respect, and power. And that's when you start getting what you want every single time. The game isn't won by those who run after women. The game is won by those who master themselves, hold their ground, and let women naturally give what they can't help but give to a man they admire. That's how you win. That's how it always works. What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.